We are Roadster Shop. We build the best chassis and turnkey vehicles in the industry. And we're hitting the road all down the East Coast, making a few stops along the way. Welcome to the Road Tour.
That was a fucking blast. Yeah.
We gotta tie this big bitch down again. Do some rearranging here. It's very difficult to stay organized without having my wife here.
Everybody's got good enough gas, so we're gonna bomb at least an hour, hour and a half, continue on down to Avant-Garde.
He's got probably like the most badass upholstery shop ever.
And then head over to Loggerhead Marina. Taking Nortec out with quad 450s and do a little boating today. Fucking roll. You know, these Survivor Series cars, they're already iconic cars in their own right, so why mess with them? It's a 66 Chevelle, all of the interior being left exactly how it was designed, but done in better fit and finish and better materials. So Vintage Air, Dakota Digital, companies like that, partners that we deal with on a daily basis, they do a really good job of that factory integration. You know, integrating the power window switches in a kind of a hidden fashion where they're not just slapped in the dash. And Vintage Air controls that are retrofit to the stock 66 Chevelle controls. Nothing looks out of place. It's going to be just as in style in 20 years as it is now, as being a 50-year-old plus car. This particular chassis. This is the Rideline IRS, long stroke. It's not like floppy and soft like old Cadillac or anything. You still have the performance. It soaks every bump. It's pretty impressive. We look forward to these road tours every year. The customers, they're getting to use their cars like they're intended to. They have the peace of mind and the comfort knowing that the car is going to do it. All of the guys at the shop that make this possible, they seek the reasoning behind what it is we do and what they're making every day and see it in use. When you're back home at the shop and you've been on one of these trips, you look at everything differently.
Get that gator? Go get it, man.
This is our design center. We bring customers in, we go over the renderings, we go over the game plan. All these cabinets are full of samples, carpet samples, leather samples, and we finalize everything before they leave usually, and we order the materials, and it starts from there and goes on through the rest of the building.
So we're in Palm City, Florida at Avant-Garde Upholstery, where Jeremy Carlson pretty much runs his team of amazing craftsmen. The GTO behind us, 67 GTO. It's on one of our fast track chassis. Up until we got here to see the interior, the highlight of the car was the Mercury Racing SP4 motor. So at a glance, looks just like GTO did in 67, but it's laser straight. For me, this is the first time seeing what Jeremy did inside, and mind-blowing work. People don't stop and think. Upholstery, that's always been the area. It's the last thing you do on your car. So that's usually where the money's already, the money's ran out at that stage of the game. When you're driving the car, you don't see the paint, you don't see the wheels. You're in the seat. That's where you are. You're experiencing the interior of the car. It was kind of a wake-up call for us that we were so used to just doing kind of basic interiors in years past, and Jeremy's totally taken it to the next level, and it's difficult to go back from there. I mean, hands down, the finest interiors in the country.
Palm Beach, Loggerhead Marina, fixing to go out on a Nortec with some Mercury 450Rs.
Nortec's known for their finish, their performance. They're probably the leader. They put together a really neat package, so it's kind of blends your go-fast boat with a functional center console cruising type boat. I want to say he said it does 85, 90 miles an hour, which we're going to ride in it.
If you're man enough.
I'm man enough.
Are you?
Yeah, I'll get behind the wheel and run that son of a bitch.
Let's do it.
Those motors rip. There's acceleration from like 50 to 70.
Smooth.
Never seen a prop boat turn like that.
This is a 66 Chevelle, prototype of our Rideline chassis. It went from kind of a smaller family sedan to a bigger muscle car. We went with an LS3 in this particular car and a 4L60 transmission because we wanted to keep it as simple and reliable as possible. There's no frills under here. There's no intake manifold to make it look old school. It's just meant to fire up, run, work perfect every single time. It's just a highway cruiser car. It's all about comfort and style. And you can sit in the back of this thing going down the highway and just pass out. So when you're building a car that you're looking for this level of comfort, this level of style, you got to use the best components you can get your hands on. We've been working with Fox shocks for about a year, trial and error, trying to get just that perfect ride quality that you're looking for. We try and use a lot of OEM stuff. They get it right from the get-go. To work backwards from what the OEMs are doing is kind of silly on our part. So we try and use OEM bushings. We use an OEM fan that's controlled in a different way than you typically would on a hot rod. So it's all just quiet and smooth, and you don't get that without using nice quality components and pieces. On all of our cars, we never try and build the same thing twice. You find something that works, we kind of use it and improve on it, but if you're not constantly moving forward and constantly looking for the next thing, then you're not really going anywhere. And I think that's kind of what sets us apart from maybe other hot rod shops that are doing similar stuff, or the guy in his garage using our chassis to build stuff. It's very important to keep that mind state of what can I do better today that I didn't do yesterday. So we're always trying to stay on the cusp of what's next. You're never gonna know if you don't try it. You gotta talk about the customers. The people that buy this stuff and allow us to do it, they're killer, dude. We couldn't do any of this stuff without them. Just talking to a guy and watching his eyes light up and get excited, I think that's the best part of the job. At the end of the day, we're all car guys. It's work, it's hard, but you see the customer as you're starting and planning, and they get so excited, and then at the end of the day, they have a running, driving, working car. There's not a feeling that can replace it.
This is a 1967 Camaro that we built based around the Mercury Racing SB4 LS motor. They're getting the MTI Cat in the water. Got two of the big Mercury Racing QC4 turbocharged motors.
That was a fucking blast. Yeah.